Hi everybody, look, it's DMG, David Goudreau in the house. So many of you have seen David because you've seen kissy faces all over the interwebs that I know you love. I know you love that. And because you actually could see him on the header of cpgtrips.com, which is what we're here to talk about, and because you've traveled with him, I think they should be called DMG trips.
Finally, getting a little respect.
Best human being I know, just saying. So if any of you want to travel with the best human being I know, now's your chance.
You know where I'll be.
And where will you be in 2018? You will be
so many places.
In Vietnam.
Yep.
In Alsace.
Yep.
France. Also Germany, because we're going over to the Black Forest in Baden-Baden. And Rwanda, 2019.
As one does.
As one does. So we just wanted to share with you, I'm so tempted to like make this video with, you know, cutaways and show you testimonials and show you the places we've been. We've done that. You can go to cpgtrips.com. I'm looking here. We should really be looking there. So you can go to cpgtrips.com to see testimonial videos, to see our last CPG vegan trip, which was in Thailand, and you'll get a real sense of the joy and abundance, because that's really what these trips are about. The abundance, no deprivation, joy, vegan food, animals, compassion, integrity, kindness. What else? DMG. David. And so I thought it would be really great to just share with you, because we have got 3. Are we small? Are we too like? Should we sit up?
Right.
I have like big head and you have little head. It's not fair. I'm like.
No, I think it's fine.
You're like little man and I'm like big woman. So because we have 3 trips, I dipped my toe into these CPG vegan trips, to these group trips, with our 2 trips to Italy. We did Thailand in October, which was phenomenal, which I'm not gonna lie, just go look at the testimonials. And I know some of you are watching this. People were talking about how this was the best trip they've ever been on. That means a lot to us, and we put a lot of work into these trips. So we thought we would just share with you kind of what we put into these trips and what we characterize these trips as. So when you think of CPG trips, you think of these, well, I'll say 10. I like nice round numbers. Characteristics of CPG vegan trips. CPG and DMG.
Trips.
Vegan.
Trip.
Okay. So the first thing we think of when we think of, I don't know, I mean, we do have a list. I'm not kidding. I have it right here. But what's the first thing you think of when you think of CPG vegan trips?
Well, looking at the sheet, I think of friendships.
Oh, well, it's true, right? I mean, so truly. So, of course, I had to take notes. I didn't want to bore you and sit there going,
So stay on message.
Stay on message. Honestly, it is so beautiful. I feel in many ways that as much as I'm a traveler on these trips, I am also witnessing the most beautiful things taking place, relationships forming, friendships forming, and especially, well, whether you come together as a couple or whether you come as a single traveler, there are people make these what they call lifelong friendships. I know Deb, one of our wonderful travelers, said that she came to the Thailand trip not knowing anyone, and she left with lifelong friends. I mean, kind of how cool is that? And one of the ways we can do that is they're small groups. These are 20 to 25 people, so small enough that you get to know each other, and we make sure that everybody gets to know each other. And no, we don't do any kind of goofy like get to know each other stuff. I don't think we do.
No.
I'm not into goofy stuff.
No.
So this isn't about it being uncomfortable, and this guy doesn't like any of that.
You don't need to do any of that when you're traveling with folks for 7 to 10 days. It's very organic. It's very natural. You'll find folks you want to communicate with and talk to and have breakfast with. It's meant to be easy.
Yeah, and I think because of the integrity of the people who travel with us, everyone wants to reach out to everybody else and make everybody else feel comfortable. So I don't even, we'll do a little bit to like just people get to know each other in introductions, but after that, we just have the most phenomenal people. So the friendships that form, I think, are really just beautiful. And that, I would say, is the first thing that stands out for me. One of the second thing, number 2, I would say number 2, the second thing is that the only, I don't know if complaint is the word, but the only thing people said, whoa, about the Thailand trip was that there's so much food. Like, we know what vegans suffer from, and we know that there's often times where you go somewhere and you're like, oh yeah, I got this spaghetti with salt and that was it at an event, or I traveled and I was different than everybody else and I got the hummus, or I don't know. I mean, just, you know, I love hummus, but you know, you just don't, you're a second class citizen, not on CPG vegan trips, not on CPG DMG vegan trips. I'm gonna change the name. The food we work to make, the food, not just vegan, that's a given, that's duh. We make sure this food is phenomenal. Phenomenal, right? I mean, phenomenal. Like, do you remember that breakfast? There's a video out there of our breakfast, our first breakfast when we were in Bangkok, when we were in Thailand. Remember that?
Yeah. It was like a 30-course.
It really
breakfast.
was. Like, that's not okay. No one needs 30 courses. But yeah, we do. We do. We need 30 courses.
We found a way to, you know,
stick it right in the belly.
Rise to that challenge.
We did. The food's phenomenal. We work with the vendors and the chefs very closely. We had one chef. We had one dinner that was We work with the chefs very closely.
Hey, with that many meals, you're gonna have one bum meal. Okay.
Yeah, no, but that's another story for another time. We'll tell you that another time. But so obviously in Vietnam, Vietnam obviously having a huge Buddhist culture. There's so much wonderful food that's already vegan by default, that's Vietnamese. You know, we really celebrate the culture of the cuisine of the culture we're in, of the place we're in. When we're in France, in Alsace, this isn't non-vegans shouldn't get to go to France and have all the traditional French food. Vegans can travel to France and have all the traditional French food. So we're gonna have croissants, pâtés, fondues, bourguignon. Did I say that right?
Yeah, close enough.
Chocolat. Did I say that right?
No.
What is it? Chocolate.
French onion soup.
French onion soup. How do you say French onion soup in French?
Le French onion soup.
Le French. It's really bad. I'm so sorry for all you French speakers out there. We're also heading to the Black Forest, so guess what we're gonna have to eat?
That's right. Cake.
No, we're eating the forest. No, cake.
The Black Forest.
we're eating the Black Forest cake, not the Black Forest. Yeah, that's what we do. Okay, food. Phenomenal. Okay, number 3, obviously, CPG. It's about the animals. It's about the animals. It's about the sanctuaries, the shelters we go to, the wildlife rehabilitation centers we go to when they're appropriate. If there's a place we're going to and there's nothing that we can celebrate as far as animal protection, then we don't go. We don't really have a lot of animal-specific things in Alsace, in the Alsace region, and in Germany. Not that there isn't great work being done in France and Germany. And in fact, we're actually looking to do a trip to the Dordogne region, which they're building an elephant sanctuary there. And we've supported, do you know we supported that? And we are looking to do that, and that would be pretty phenomenal. But where there's not an appropriate, ethical, compassionate animal sanctuary shelter, then we're not going to do it. But where there is, we're doing it. So in Vietnam, hello, we're going to see the moon bears that Animals Asia has dedicated their entire mission to saving, protecting, and closing down the bear bile farms in China and Vietnam. And so here's the thing about that as well. You traveling with CPG and DMG, you get to do things that nobody else does. If you traveled on your own, you wouldn't get to go to the Vietnam sanctuary in Vietnam. Did I say Vietnam twice?
Yes.
You wouldn't get to go to the Vietnam sanctuary of Animals Asia, the bear sanctuary, because it's not open to the public. Because of DMG, really, it's because of you. We are going to see the bears who've been rescued and who get to live out their lives in this beautiful national park sanctuary, and we get to go celebrate the work they're doing there. So that's one of the benefits. When we were in Thailand, we went to some great places, right? What do you remember about that?
I went to Soy Dog, for example.
Soy Dog.
That was great to see the work that they're doing there at a scale that you don't often see at a dog and cat rescue organization. So that was great.
Yeah.
We saw elephants.
Where?
Elephant Sanctuary.
Yep.
That was in...
it was in Chiang Mai.
No, it was not in Chiang Mai. It was...
no, actually, it was...
Yeah,
it was in Phuket.
Phuket.
So we chose not to go to the Chiang Mai sanctuary because we really just wanted to go to a smaller sanctuary where we felt like we weren't like part of like 50 other tourists. Even though the one that's in Chiang Mai, they do really great work, the elephant sanctuary. We just wanted to go to the Phuket elephant sanctuary because it was smaller. So we're very mindful about where we go and why we choose what we choose. And then we went to that wonderful Gibbons Rehabilitation Center. They're doing such great work. You know, a lot of this has to do with the native forest being being cut down, and that's the case in Vietnam as well. So we think we might be able to get to one non-human primate rehabilitation center in Vietnam. We're looking into that, but again, we vet everything to make sure that it's up to our standards. We don't do anything that would in any way reflect anything that's unethical. And of course, I'll report back to those of you who don't come what it means to travel in these countries. So I'll always do that when I come back, the way I do with my regular trips that are not CPG trips. So yeah, animals, obviously, and like I said, we vet everything. And then we didn't mention Rwanda.
Yeah, they don't have a lot going on there, though, otherwise.
Oh my God. We sold out of our Rwanda trip in 2 days. So Rwanda, gorillas, and those of you who would have heard my podcast episode on our travel to 4 different countries in Africa last year, we're going back to Rwanda, and it sold out in 2 days. But honestly, just stay close and hold on to your hats, because we have a special announcement to make that we think is going to make you very happy. But I can't say anything about it yet. Just don't fret. And if you're still interested if you're very interested in the Rwanda trip, there's still hope. Okay, so the mountain gorillas who live only in the Virunga Mountains there, which is in Rwanda, and also borders
Uganda and the
Congo. So, but Rwanda is really doing the most to protect these animals, and we're going to go to the Dian Fossey Center again. We're going to even go see Dian Fossey's grave. She was my first kind of animal hero. And number 2, chimpanzees. Was that the most amazing expedition? I don't know if that's a word. It's a word, but I don't know if it's appropriate for this. And then golden monkeys and lots of little baby primates. We did some of them. Spider monkeys. I don't know what else. Baby monkeys.
Baby spider monkey. Monkey baby spiders.
Monkey baby spiders. So number 4, so that's food, friendships, animals. Number 4, I have to say, the attention to detail that we curate these trips with such attention to detail. You don't even know, and we don't want you to know. We don't want you to have to think about anything. We don't want you to think about anything related to the seams, anything. But the attention to detail to make everything really special, and surprises. We're really into surprises. So our partners in these trips are Sebastian Ranger and Bridie Reed, and we just know how to create great experiences, because we basically want to create experiences for you that we love to have. So if you've seen any of our trips online, or if you've heard my podcast about our trips, like we do some pretty awesome things, because we really want to have memories that last a lifetime. We're not into things, we're not into stuff, we're not into buying things, we're into experiences, and we want you to have the same thing. So we're very mindful of details, lots of surprises that we had that people are just giddy over, because we don't tell everybody about all the details. And then also related to that, I don't think you know that, like, we talk to every operator, tour operator, boat operator, hotel manager, whatever we're doing, we talk to them, so that there's never going to be a time where we're on a tour and the tour guide says, oh, that's a great steakhouse over there, or this is great fishing over here, or if you want to get your pictures taken with that, baby tiger, let's go. They already know our values, they already know how we travel, and they already know we don't want to hear about the favorite steakhouse. They're used to it. We can't guarantee that someone's not going to make a mistake, but they're used to travelers wanting these things, tourists wanting these things. But we are so mindful of working with these vendors to celebrate the compassionate travel. I don't know if it's the eco-tourism that's become very trendy, and I think that's lost a bit of its meaning, but compassionate travel. And then what that means is that we also have an impact on future trips that they might be running, that they might do things differently because of the work. And we follow up. We follow up with these hotels who are not vegan hotels, and they do the most phenomenal meals for us, and then we follow up with them to make sure they have what they need to implement those meals throughout their regular menu.
Yeah.
Right, David?
100%.
Then there's the number 5, we do things that are specific to the region, obviously. In Rwanda, we're obviously doing the forest. We're going to Nyungwe down south to see the chimpanzees. We're going to the volcanoes up north. We're going to Akagera in the east. And Akagera is where we're going to see safari animals. And again, back to the animals, we're always really mindful that we're not doing anything that's very intrusive. So I want everyone to know that. And we, again, work very closely with the vendors. But the things that are also specific to Rwanda is just, Kigali is a beautiful city. It's a beautiful country. Just driving, going to the lake, getting on the water. Look, Rwanda had that horrible tragedy, the genocide, and we will be going to genocide memorials. You can't go to Rwanda and not do that. It just dishonors the tragedy, because there's a lot to learn from what happened in the 90s. And we will go to the memorials, the genocide memorials. If you don't want to come, you don't have to come. That's obviously optional as well. But when we're in Alsace, we're going to be doing Christmas markets. That's the magic of this trip, is that we're going to Christmas markets, we're going to the forest, we're going to castles. We're going to experience all of the wonderful food and cuisine.
Yeah.
What about Vietnam?
Well, there's a lot of temples. We're going to spend a lot of time in the cities, but also a ton of natural beauty there as well. We'll be getting out and doing I think we got some hiking lined up in some of the national parks there, so it should be wonderful.
Yeah, and then of course, if you're interested in history, there's what we call the Vietnam War, they call the American War, so there's always that. There's little villages, they're adorable. We're going onto Halong Bay, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We do a lot of World Heritage Sites as well, again, very respectfully. Number 6, got to say a bit about the quality of travel we do. We said that we want you to have the same experience as we do, and these are kind of 5-star trips. This is all about you relaxing, you devote your life to compassion and kindness, and we want you to just do this in luxury, and we just pick the best places, the best hotels, the best coaches, the best boats. You can vote for the boat.
We've got both.
We've got votes. I just want, in everything I do, and everything I've always done, is I want people to recognize that compassion doesn't mean deprivation. And again, we do it mindfully. We do zero waste, and that's integrated in my life now more than ever, and it will be integrated into every trip that I do. So we do our best to do zero waste as much as possible. We'll encourage people to bring their own, water bottles that we can fill up with our own filtered water that we provide for you. We encourage people to not use straws. We actually provide straws for you if you really need to drink with a straw. I don't know if most people need to drink with a straw, but anyway, so we do everything we can to make this really just high end and just enjoyable, so you can relax and have the kind of vacation that you always dreamed of. Do you remember in Rwanda, what was one of your favorite memories in Rwanda that we're doing when we go to Rwanda?
Oh gosh, there's so many.
What was the most luxury place you could remember?
Well, probably Ungwe.
Yeah, that place down in the southern part of Rwanda.
Yeah.
And we're going to go there when we go to Rwanda. You who signed up, and you who can still sign up, can't say too much, you're going to get to experience that. These are special places. If you listen to my podcast, you'll have heard me talk about it.
Yeah, it's a magical place.
Magical. It's on a tea plantation. Tea, people. Okay, number 7. I'm just going to say, I've said this to you before, I have the most phenomenal followers. The integrity of the people who join us on these trips is high. Stellar people, not just David, not just the people who travel with us, because the integrity is so high. These are kind, good, compassionate, fun, joyful people. And we have to talk about our partners in this and our actual tour guides when we're on the ground, and that's Seb and Bridie. So Seb, I mentioned before, Sebastian, he goes by Seb. He goes by other names I call him, but I'm not going to say that here. And Bridie. And we've known them now for several years. We've traveled to, I think Seb has on the website 12 countries. I think we've been to 13 or so countries together. And we just have the most amount of fun. Seb and Bridie both have backgrounds in tourism and travel as travel guides, and they know their stuff. They know their places. When we go to Alsace, they're bilingual in French. So we have these really experienced tour guides, travel tour leaders, they call themselves. They're not from the United States. They have different ways of saying things, which is a little weird. But they have experience, they have a background, they have a knowledge, and then that's their background just kind of professionally. But together, the 4 of us just love being with each other so much. I love these 2 so much.
Yeah, they're phenomenal to travel with. We're great friends with them.
Yeah. And we trust them implicitly. We talk to them every single day, several times a day. I'm really getting quite sick of it. But So how many times a day do we are we talking to them? Because
It's been a lot recently.
It's a lot because we have 3 trips that we're organizing together, and so we're constantly talking, and we have so much fun. They're phenomenal people, and they make this experience just completely completely stellar. So if you want to travel not only with phenomenal people like David and Seb and Brady and the people on the trip, then you want to travel with us on CPG trips.
And you get to travel with you.
Who?
You. CPG.
Well,
CPG herself.
It is called CPG. They're called CPG trips.
So yeah, when you're, when we're out gallivanting about, I mean, folks, have the opportunity to spend time with you, to talk to you about your thoughts on things. So it's very intimate in that way. It's very comfortable. It's very casual, but it's kind of special being able to spend some time with you too.
Well, I'm a fellow traveler. I'm there to experience all of the joys and abundance of traveling wherever we are, as well, of course, with the animals. I get a little bonkers with the animals. But of course, I'm here. Yeah, people are always interested in what CPG has to say. I'm interested, what do you have to say? And you have the opportunity to do that on these trips. And of course, then where appropriate and when we feel like it fits in well, we do some other specific, we call them CPG moments, like a cooking class. So I'm actually going to be doing a cooking demonstration when we were in France. I did one when we were in Italy. I don't think there's an opportunity when we're in Rwanda, but we work really closely with the vendors, so we'll probably do something fun, maybe with one of the Nyungwe chefs, because if it's the same chef that was there when we were there, he was awesome. And the chef that was there, I know he's still there at Volcanoes because a friend of mine was just there and had his picture taken with him. Like when we were, not Nyungwe, I'm sorry, did I say Nyungwe? Volcanoes. Did I say Volcanoes? I said Volcanoes.
Yeah.
Up in Volcanoes where you see the gorillas.
Yep.
The food was just, it was pretty much almost vegan completely, but we're going to take over these places. Like in Alsace, we have our own hotel. We're taking over the entire hotel. Not much time to sign up, people. These trips are filling up fast, and I'm not just saying that. So in addition to, I think you're getting the idea. This is number 9, is that obviously with David and I, with Brady and Seb, we're all like-minded travelers, and the people who come on the trips are like-minded as well. You don't have to ever explain yourself or talk about something you don't want to talk about or think about things you don't have to ask, is this vegan? We take care of everything, and you're traveling with people who also just want to relax and enjoy being with other good people. And what's also, I want to say this, is there are non-vegans who travel with us. Mostly it's been in the form of partners who travel with their spouses. And I'm just really proud of the fact that they've always said, solicited and unsolicited. Solicited when it comes when we have these conversations, but unsolicited is that they always feel so very comfortable. They feel so uncomfortable. They just can't wait to go.
They are mortified when they get there. It's the longest week of their life.
Well, sad. They feel so very comfortable. They've told us that they feel very comfortable, that they don't feel judged, that they know that they're on this journey just the way all of us are on this journey, and that means a lot to me. So it's for vegans, obviously, but it's also for like-minded friends and family who want to join us and be surrounded by joy and abundance and compassion. So I'm very proud of that. So these are like-minded people, and you don't have to worry about a thing. And I think that's really special for people who especially going to places that are very unfamiliar, like a country in Africa, where we have so many misconceptions about countries in Africa. And I am so happy to debunk those. And I can't wait to go back. Like, we were just in Rwanda just a couple years ago. Not even. It was like
It was about that.
No, it was Christmas 2016 and New Year's 2017 when we were in Africa. That was only a year ago. So, and we can't wait to go back to Rwanda, and we can't wait to go to Vietnam. We can't wait to see the bears. We can't wait to see that country and experience that culture. And we can't wait to go to Alsace. And if you want to have a Christmas trip that is truly magical, if you've never been to a Christmas market in Europe, you're in for quite a treat. And then finally, just like the extras, like I said, nothing is mandatory. You're in good hands. Seb is always coming up with really fun surprises. If you want to do your own thing, you can. We just really strive to make it the most enjoyable experience so you can opt out of anything. So we sold out of Rwanda, as I said, in 2 days. Vietnam still has some slots if you want to join us. I mean, if you hear this afterwards, we want to hear where you want to go to. We've talked about that a lot too. We talk all the time about what we think would make the best CPG trips. I'm sick of it. All the time. And we want to hear from you as well. I'm not going to do everything you say, but I want to hear what you have, what your ideas are and where you want to go. And Rwanda sold out in 2 days, but I'm not kidding when I say that we're really considering a second trip to Rwanda also in 2019 back to back. So we are going to be announcing that soon to have a second wait list. There are already a number of people on the wait list that got bumped to the wait list because
For the second possible trip. Yep.
right. So we already have a wait list because the first trip sold out so quickly. And of course, you know, things could happen. I mean, even though people put down a substantial deposit, you never know what happens. So we have a wait list in case someone else needs to fill one of those slots that becomes available. But what we're saying is that if you're very serious about going to Rwanda with us, then you might want to get on the wait list anyway. And then we're going to also, I think, offer a wait list for a second trip. That if you're very serious, we want to know that you want to go, we might do a back-to-back trip to Rwanda. We're already there. Enough people want to go. We want you to experience this magical country. So I'm just saying, Vietnam still has slots. It's going to be phenomenal. I don't know that we're going to be going back to Vietnam again. I think this is probably going to be a one-time thing. And going to see the bears at the Vietnam Sanctuary has always been a dream of mine as long as I've been supporting the work of Animals Asia. So I'm just really excited about that. And then Alsace, if you want to have the Christmas magical experience and having, you know, a day in Paris with us, eating your way through Paris, and people who think that you can't eat vegan in France and you can't eat vegan in Germany, you haven't experienced it, and you haven't experienced the CPG and DMG style. That's all I'm saying. So what else? That's it. That's all I got. Whew.
There's a lot going on.
CPG trips.com. These are CPG vegan trips, but we just like to shorten it, make it easy for people. CPGtrips.com, where you can see the testimonials, where you can see all of the what our Thailand trip looked like. We should put our Scotland trip on there, even though it wasn't a CPG trip. They can see our drone footage.
Might be false advertising.
Maybe. Although, did I tell you that there was someone who said they were going on that same walking tour to Scotland because of my podcast episode on it?
Nice.
I know.
That's great.
Yeah, it was really awesome. So if you want a stellar experience, I would be grateful, and I would be so happy to travel with you, and you get to travel with this guy. So thanks, honey. Thanks for sharing that with everybody.
Yep.
Okay, everybody. For the animals, this is Colleen Patrick-Goudreau.
And David Matthew Goudreau.
That's where the M is. I never say, oh yeah, well you get to use your middle name. I have to use my hyphenated name. Colleen Alexandra Patrick-Goudreau. Yeah. Bye.
Too long.
Bye, everyone.